Well, I hope you enjoyed my economic proposals, and I just want to again reiterate that I think that Senator Kirk needs to apologize to the people of Illinois and to the President for his comments about comparing the Commander-in-Chief of our nation to a drug dealer.
Tammy said he was unhinged. Is it that bad?
Well, if you look at all of the things that he said, I think that he lacks the ability to control what he's saying. And you can look at the numerous gaffes that he's had over the years.
Tammy, if that lack of ability is due to the stroke.
Unhinged?
I do think he's unhinged. To call the Commander-in-Chief, basically comparing him to a drug dealer, I think that is a significant thing for a United States Senator to say. I mean, this is the same man who called one of his colleagues a bro with no hole. It's not befitting of a United States Senator.
Tammy, if that lack of ability to control his statements is a result of the after effects of the stroke, should voters take that into consideration?
Oh, I think that is the furthest thing that people should look at. People should look at the fact that he's been ineffective as a senator. He's been in Congress. He was in Congress for 10 years. He's been a senator for 6. He was a chief of staff for 10 years before that. And he claims to be, this person who's done things. He's not done anything for the state of Illinois. I've been traveling the state. He's not even traveled the state.
So do you want to focus on what he's done or what he said?
I think that he needs to apologize for what he said because he's brought that up. He's the one who said it. But I do think that the voters should concentrate on the fact that he is ineffective as a senator and has either not taken the lead or has failed when he's tried to take the lead. He says that he's worked on gun violence or women's reproductive rights, but when you're looking at him, he defund Planned Parenthood in the Zika funding bill. He's ineffective.
Do you think his statement, there was a statement about the $400 million payment, his argument was that wasn't leverage, that was ransom. And if that's his argument, could you address that?
Well, I have only seen what I've seen in the media so far. And from what AP has reported, and some of the media has said that was money that was going anyway, so that it was not ransom. I will be back in Washington next month, and I'm sure we will get plenty of briefings on this, and I'm looking forward to it. But I also think that his call for a hearing or something on this is a waste of taxpayer time and money. And again, he should focus on doing his job as senator and not on calling the president the equivalent of a drug dealer.
But Representative,
in recent days, you've been bringing up the fact of his support for the Bush tax cuts, and that you believe that turned into deficit. But in 2006, when he ran for Congress, you supported the Bush tax cuts.
Well, he voted for the Bush tax cuts. He also voted and co-wrote the Iraq invasion resolution that led to the war that cost us trillions of dollars. And this man also has voted for the Ryan budget when it came.
But you're criticizing him on the tax cuts at the same time you supported them as a candidate for Congress.
I don't support them, and I certainly have not voted on them.
Well, but you did support them then.
I did not vote for them, and I certainly don't support tax cuts for the wealthiest at the expense of hardworking middle-income families.
Representative, you cite his support for the Iraq invasion as a reason to vote against him. Is that a reason to vote against Hillary Clinton as well?
I think one of the reasons to question Mark Kirk's competence as a senator is he calls himself a defense hawk, and he says, well, he's a former Navy intelligence officer, he knows these things, and yet he not only supported the Iraq invasion resolution, he co-wrote it, he opposed the surge, which he admires General Petraeus for. He supported the arming of Syrian rebels to the tune of $500 million, and most of those weapons are in the hands of the rebels. Every time this man has made a decision on national security policy, he's been wrong. And he's wrong in the Iran nuclear deal, which is making America safer. Yes, we need to go after those terrorists, and I will, as I've spent my entire adult life defending this nation, continue to protect America. But he's been wrong on all of these things. So for him, it's a pattern over years of all of these bad decisions, time and time and time again.
Congresswoman, the senator issued a statement this afternoon saying that you support Speaker Mike Madigan, who has called for higher income taxes for every Illinois family. Can you respond to that?
I have no role in raising income taxes for state income taxes. I have no idea what he's talking about. He needs to focus on doing his job as senator and try to actually be effective at the things that he should be doing, which he has not done.
On TPP,
One more question.
On TPP, 2 points. One, the pairing there is Senator Kirk, your opponent, is paired with Barack Obama, the president supporting it. you are paired with Donald Trump and opposing it, does that pairing bother you? And two, is TPP too big to fail? Some say world trade accounted for by the members, Australia, Japan, US, Canada, Mexico, 40% of world GDP, 25% of trade, world trade. So those 2 points, the pairing bother you, and two, too big to fail.
Well, the only person doing the pairing is you right now, because I opposed TPP before Donald Trump even came onto the political scene. Look, there are many good parts in TPP, and I wish that I could have voted for it, because it's good for, so much of it is good for Illinois agriculture, for example. It opens more markets. We have the great corn and soybean growers and hog producers of the nation of the world. But specifically, what I said to the Obama administration, I'm not afraid of standing up to an administration, even for my own political party, and say, your failure to put in language that prohibits currency manipulation is wrong. We cannot allow the Chinese to dump steel here for less than it costs. We cannot allow our trading partners to manipulate the currency at the expense of hardworking Illinois manufacturers and American families. It's not fair. Also, the rules of origin labeling, the country of origin labeling, bothers me. In some industries, it's even higher than it is under NAFTA, meaning that you could actually have products that are more than 50% are produced in some other country, shipped to a TPP country, assembled, gets a made in Vietnam sticker, and then it gets to come in here and compete against American manufacturers. That is bad for American manufacturers. It's also bad for American consumers, because we have no idea what the quality of the products that our consumers are buying are. It could have safety problems, it could have health issues. So those are two very specific things I talked to the administration about. They failed to fix it. I was not able to vote for TPP.
Congresswoman, you mentioned coal and you mentioned coal and wind, but you don't mention nuclear.
Congresswoman, you're in Chicago. You're a Democrat. Way back when the climate down stuff was going on, we wanted to ask you this. Ask you now. How do you think that Rahm Emanuel handled the Laquan McDonald ordeal? Do you believe that he didn't watch the video when he did? And do you agree with the way that he handled that investigation?
I think the way that whole investigation was handled was problematic. I do want to move forward from this time period. I do support any time that there is an officer involved shooting death, that we should have independent outside investigation of the process, so that that's not just internal. I think we need to give the superintendent an opportunity to do his job. I think he's made some significant changes. We do have some real issues still, but this is again where I differ from my opponent. Mark Kirk recently in Arlington Heights Chamber of Commerce said it was beyond his capabilities as a senator to deal with police-community relationships. I actually traveled to Dallas and visited with the Dallas police after they had their shootings. They have some of the nation's best examples of good police-community relationships. You can do a lot as a United States Senator to help with that. You can fund more programs that promote police-community relationships. You can certainly make sure that local that there are grants that local police forces can apply to, so that there are body cameras on every officer. There are many things you can do as a United States Senator, and to do what Mark Kirk says and throw up his hand because I can't do anything on police-community relationship is malpractice as a senator. You have to do better, and he's not done his job.
Could I ask you about why you didn't mention nuclear? There are two downstate communities about to lose hundreds of jobs with
I'm in all of the above, and we have
What, you didn't even mention it. What would you do to save those jobs?
You know, I am an all of the above. We have Argonne laboratory. We are actually a nation's leader in nuclear energy, and I think that any type of a renewable energy portfolio for the nation will have to.
So Exelon has a proposal in Springfield that they want, and they want the feds in D.C. also to give them special tax breaks. Good idea?
I would need to talk to Exelon. As you said, it's in Springfield. It's not in Washington. But I do.
But they do have federal proposals pending.
We do need to do an all of the above strategy, and we are uniquely positioned in Illinois with our natural resources, our manufacturing resources, as well as our knowledge and the people who are leading the nations in industries from wind to nuclear to help lead the nation into.
So you'd give Exelon additional tax breaks?
I would need to take a look at it, but as you said, it's in Springfield, not in Washington. Thank you.